What is up, guys? Welcome back to the garage, and it is Friday. Thank fuck for that. So in the spirit of trying to keep you guys all up to date on what I'm doing with the R1, there's going to be some little bits, some boring bits, some not so great, some not so interesting things. It's kind of just stuff that you got to do, and I thought, let's get on track with the frame. Now, I got this 2000 R8 frame to replace this. This frame is completely fine. I'll probably resell it as a track frame if anyone needs it, dirt cheap. Or maybe I'll keep it and build a project out of that. Anyway, we've got this frame and I've now cleaned it up. So it's got a clean title. I can register this. It just needs a bike attached to it, essentially, which, yeah, there's a lot of work and only 59 days to do it. So I've gone over this and it was like plasti dip. I think it was sprayed with plasti dip to a different, slightly lighter metallic color, and I've gone over the whole frame and really given it a good clean. I actually used thinners, which took all of that off, and yeah, it worked perfect. So I guess, what have I done? I've gurneyed it, I've wiped it down with thinners, we've cleaned it inside and out, compressed air to get all up in the hair. We've taken all the fittings, brackets, little bits and pieces off and given it a good clean, and checked all of our welds, because you don't want to build a bike to get to the end and find that there's something cracked. So we've gone through, made sure everything's good and solid, and she cleaned up real good. It always surprises me how light this frame is compared to the Hyo. The Hyo is like the weight of the whole bike. Bloody, that's over there somewhere. Where are we? Yeah, so nice, light, clean frame to begin with. Now, our bearing races in here look good. We have a 2000, I think that's an 09, might be an 08, 09, triple tree over there with some decent bearings in there. And we're gonna start trying to get this bike back together, little bit by little bit. I'm just gonna grab this, put it back in there, or else it's gonna fall over and eat shit. So, what are we gonna do? Somehow I need to get all of this cleaned up, nice, clean, tidy. We're not going too crazy, but nice, clean, tidy, functional, and then back on here. How do I do that? No idea, but we're just gonna start simple. We're gonna start with the small things, the things that I've already got, and kind of work our way through it, trying to learn how to do this. One thing I did get today, and it looks sick, is the decap pipe. It is beautiful, and I just can't wait to hear the bike without the cats in it. It's gonna sound sick. It's gonna be loud. It is gonna be fuck Karen all day, every day. It's gonna be fucking fantastic. Yeah, so let's look at the parts that we got for her now. Ooh, yeah. All right. They are 2008 R1 front dampers. So that's good. And same with the triple tree. All of this is fantastic. And the difference being between the ones that I have on here now, those ones are suited to the twin pot or the two pot. And what we'll do, we'll grab my calipers and we'll see if we can see how much of a difference there is between the, don't you look at me like that. I'll get to you eventually. Oh, look at this. Let's see, just a rough dimension. Let's do a roughie. Yeah. Yeah, I tell you what, having these GoPros instead of the DSLR, I don't think I'll go back. It's so good. We will go from the top and the bottom. These mounting bolts. No, we won't, because that's at its max. We'll go, how can we do it on both? So we will. This is max, and it is a little over 155. So we'll call it 156 maybe. From the top of this casting to the bottom of that casting. Let's go have a look on the actual bike. So we're looking to see. Oh yeah, dude. The size difference is huge. So that's the size difference anyway. I'm gonna call that 157. That's what I'll call that. We'll call that 157 because it's a little bit tight on the ends of the other strut. And then we'll go to this bad boy here. Close them up. See if we can. These aren't going to be your actual bolt holes as such. Distance between the two. But then we'll get a rough guesstimate here of the actual casting difference, you know, from the top to the bottom. Turn them around. 134. So, whew, yeah, they're a little bit bigger. Anyway, so the other six, these are for the 6-pot. I dare say the valving will be a bit different. I'm not too sure why. They do look awfully similar, so I'll do some research and we'll see if that valving and anything like that is different. Now, I talked to the guy and he said they've already got new oil in them, or the oil is about 5k old, and yeah, it should just be good like this. So we're just going to run with it. The seals don't look bad. There doesn't seem to be too much evidence of huge leaks or anything, so that's good. All our chrome is good. There's no rust, pitting, scratches, anything like that. So I'm actually going to just clean them all up. I'm going to clean up these bolts and everything. Make sure everything's nice, clean, tidy. I'm going to clean up this tree as well. Yeah, I do have a new old stock Yamaha carbon fiber. Oh, you can see the lovely old one that was on there. That is some quality right there. Damn. We got some new old stock, or a new old stock carbon fiber from Yamaha, so it's a genuine piece to go on here. That's coming from the UK. It might take a while to get here, but it's on its way. So I got to clean all this schmoo up. The benefit of these things though, even if they are the cheap eBay ones, they just protect it. They protect what's underneath from the sun and fading, scratches from your keys and stuff from when you're doing fucking 299 k's an hour and they're flying around all over the place. So that's always good, even if it is the cheaper one. And yeah, I'll clean all this up. We'll get some metal polish onto the alley nuts and stuff, and just clean up the stem. I will clean out these races. These are supposedly fairly new as well, so I'm going to clean them out, re-grease them, and I'm going to reuse them. If they turn out bad, that's fine. I can just pull it apart and redo it. I'm not really opposed to doing that. So they look good, they feel good. I've already kind of put pressure and tested them, and yeah, let's get to cleaning and we'll get this front end on the bike. whole front end is basically, you know, like the core of it is pretty much done. We're pretty much on. So we got a new reservoir. The triple actually cleaned up real nice. The tubes cleaned up nice. The lowers cleaned up nice. Everything is actually looking really good. Considering how it came to me as well, like all the grease and everything came off this, the brake master, and that's cleaned up pretty good. Usually you get quite a lot of fading here, and it's usually the first place that gets damaged when like a bike has had an accident. So thankfully this is all good. And the same with the one that is actually on the bike too. That one's still good. So that's going obviously on the R6. Yeah, so we got the whole front done. We've got our bearings greased. All the bearings feel fine. There's no notchiness. The actual damper itself feels bloody brilliant considering the age of it. Usually these things are pretty clapped out by now, but there's no real loose sections in there, so that's good. Yeah, and everything else is looking schmick. I went and grabbed the brake lines. These are the race brake lines from Hell for the R1, and you can see they are looking fantastic. The red is going to really kind of go with the fairings that I have coming for it as well, which I might add are coming on or before, as per the email, the 20th of August. So we've got a little bit of time to build this thing before it's going to get fairings. She might even see the dyno without fairings. Who knows? We'll just see how we go. We're traveling pretty good right now. No real major hiccups. Actually, the opposite of hiccups. We don't have brake pads yet. They are ordered from the UK and they are making their way here. They're brand new sintered jobbies. But the ones that came in this, I gave a scrub down, cleaned them up, and they are actually sintered pads already, and they are chunky. Like there's plenty of life left. The material itself isn't like ruined from heat or excess like gouging or anything like that. So I'm actually going to run those in the short term and probably end up using like the majority of the life of that pad. And then when we do some track days, we'll move to the new pads for a good track day. The rotor on this, still fantastic. I've got some other R1 rotors as well. I have another whole R1 wheel, obviously for the R6 swap. So we'll choose whatever's the best out of those and chuck them on, but likely I'll just clean up this wheel and we'll leave this bad boy together. Now, it is really freaking windy today. So I've actually got the garage closed. It is Sunday morning, by the way. We done a little bit of this last night, a little bit of Friday night, and just little bits and pieces here and there. Want to do some more today. I do want to do some more today. She's getting very imbalanced on the stand, obviously. A little bit front heavy, or a lot front heavy, I should say. So, what I want to do today, the first thing I'm doing this morning is Chili's ball joints. So, these came from a quote-unquote reputable shop, and these are his ball joints. So you can see they're not even, that circlip isn't actually doing anything. It's on the dust boot. So he was driving his car around like that, and you'd think one would at least be done correctly, but this one's actually worse. This one started walking its way out. So that's while he's driving, it started walking its way out. And yeah, I'm gonna fix that. Pretty heavy with one arm. And we're gonna chuck them back on the EG and get all that bolted up mid shaft, and we'll get his axles in too. So I'm gonna get that done this morning and then come back and fiddle around with this for a little bit. Gonna go for a run a little bit later in the afternoon, get some of the midday energy out, and then come back and who knows? We've got so many things to do, lads, so many things. I might go uncover that EK over there so I can work on that during the week. You can see we've got the whole pile of interior, all of that kind of crap. And then later on, if I'm still feeling like I got a bit of energy for a Sunday, I might tackle this rear tail. I might try and get that tail section off the bike onto this, even if it's just the skeleton. I did start that last night, but it's getting a little bit complicated in kind of the order that things need to come apart and go back together. So I think I need to pull the tank, the battery, the ECU, majority of that loom, whole lot of plastics, probably take the slip-ons off, and then I might be able to take that whole tail off and kind of chuck it on this new frame. But let's see, we'll see how we go, and let's get it. Yeesh. Yeah, nice, Gary. Getting all that old oil out. Well, it's actually new oil. The bike came when I first got it. The sump plug wasn't tightened down, and the other side, no, is it this side? Let's have a look. Ah, yeah, you can see it in there. A little bit of RTV Ultra, which is the grey silicon or Honda Bond normal stuff. So this had a leak in it along the top. Someone had taken this off and put it back on with like half the gasket, so this top part would leak and drip down. And I found out after doing the burnout on this that the sump plug actually wasn't tight either, and it was probably about 2 seconds away from, or 2 seconds and a good limby bash from dropping out and just dumping oil everywhere. Like it had slowly just worked its way down. And yeah, had a little puddle of oil under there, and yeah, obviously wasn't tight. So a little bit sketch, given that I filled it up and took it for a ride and had been riding it around for a bit. Yeah, damn, that could have been bad, but it wasn't, and we're good now. So yep, oil's drained out. We'll do the coolant drain next. We got the fuel tank off, and on the bottom of this tank here, you can see the discoloration. That to me indicates that there's a gasket or something that is leaking. Obviously I can smell fuel, and that's because it's now an open tank, so I'm gonna have to give that a good look. I actually have another fuel pump hanger and everything for an R1 already, so I know that the plastics with fuel systems gets quite brittle, and given I need to replace the pump, I actually got a whole hanger as well. We got the aluminium bracket, gasket, plastic. It's a perfectly good pump, but just knowing how these things go, I got a whole one. We're going to swap it into the tidier plastic of the two, the tidier hanger, the E85 fuel pump, and just yeah, just precautionary really. So yeah, I'm gonna check that, make sure that's not leaking or anything, and otherwise the tank seems good. We are missing one of these bolts up here, but that's not the end of the world. Gonna get some new clips for these because that's just flopping around in there. That's not ideal. Now I know that the fairing kit comes with a color match one of these. I actually want a carbon one just because carbon's cool, but we'll see how the budget goes. Likely just run the color matched version of that. But these guys here, I think their clip's broken on the sides, because this one just, it kind of just flops around. It was never really on. And yeah, okay, so I can see in there's meant to be a clip, so I'm probably going to try hunt down some better ones of these, see if I can get some like ones with decent grips on them, like silicone or something, silica grips along the side. But anyway, tank is off. Airbox. So I mentioned earlier, the airbox has a baffle mod, so all the baffling internally is gutted. It is just a straight huge volume of air, which is ideal. But you can see here some of the glass is not so great. Some of the fiberglassing is pretty, yeah, it's pretty manky. So I'm probably going to smash this with some like 40 grit and really scuff the crap out of this, and maybe even maybe I might actually just seal the inside here with some sealant, and then I will re-glass. I got some glass mat over there I think, and I'll re-glass the inside. That'll probably be the easier way to do it, and then we'll probably just hit it with some nothing. Actually, I won't hit it with anything because I can't be bothered painting an airbox that you're never going to see. But yep, I'll clean that up. What else have we got going on? So this is the section that I'm concentrating on. I want to get this on, and then I'll call that good and done, which means it's not really too much actually. So a lot of the loom comes out with the ECU here. A lot of that we can just pull up to the front. Battery and stuff, cabling, all of these just kind of unclip and slide off. Oh, that was easy, that wasn't even on properly. Our tip over sensor, we got to undo that, move that, take the battery, this bracket. Looks like it's only held on the sides. So we got these big old Allen boys here. Oh no, they're actually a star, so we'll see if I've got something for those. And the actual shock mounts to the frame, so that's good, don't need that. I'm feeling that once all of this stuff is out, we could actually lift this up and off. So I don't really know 100%, but that's what I'm going to try. I'm just going to pull it.
A few moments later.
Woo, tail section is off. That was actually pretty straightforward. Like you saw, ECU, battery, loom was all kind of just balled up. So not too hard to get the whole tail section off. All of this, I'm obviously going to go through, clean all of this. So well, what is that? I think this is the that is our brake switch by the look of it. So we're going to sort out some wiring issues, just clean this up, make it a little bit more reliable perhaps. Someone's already been in here and taped it up and pulled it apart a little bit, so get this bad boy here fixed, maybe to the top of the ECU or something. But yeah, as you saw, pretty straightforward to get that out. Now with the whole section off like this, I don't really want to have to pull all that out again when I chuck the nitrous bottle in, so we need to do some trimming. I think it's these two ears here. We need to take these down, get rid of that. That's for a small brace that goes across there, a little cross brace. So we're just going to take these out, clean it up, and that should be enough to fit our real small bottle in here. We're going to have to take these little ears down too, maybe trim down the back here, but I don't think the back is really an issue. The 1 pound bottle is bloody small, little tiny thing, should sit in there quite nice. I might round up these edges too, just to make sure, so I don't have to come back in here and do anything. But yeah, our major part is getting rid of these, and that looks a little something like... Man, I'm really going to recalibrate this thing, hey? It's, I'm looking at it, it's a little cockeyed, but I actually just brought it and turned it on. I haven't calibrated it, I haven't done anything with this gimbal. It twitches every now and then, which is a little bit weird, a little bit concerning, but so far so good. It's fine. Anyway, tail. So what I was saying is this bad boy needs to be notched and clearanced for the 1 pound bottle, and that's essentially what we've done. You see these, so we had these little ears, and we've simply cut them down with a grinder and then gotten the die grinder and just cleaned up all the burrs and everything, so there's no sharp edges and anything. At the back there, you need to just take a little bit out because it's a little bit of a tight squeeze just to slide down. And other than that, dudes, like, that's pretty much the bottle. It's not really that big, like dimensionally it sits a little bit longer than this. I mean, I know that's not an actual measurement, but it's worked for me in the past, and it's damn near close enough. And you just kind of clean up the edges here, a little bit here and here, and that's it. That is the whole lot. I got this guy here, not that guy, not those. Okay, I'm gonna lose them. But oh, there's that twitch I was talking about. This is rusting. No, that's glue. There is glue. This is what they had the power commander stuck to. That makes sense. All right, so previously, obviously, that was stuck to it. And this was just like, this is really flimsy. I'm not entirely sure what the deal is with this. It would just sit here usually. And I think what I'll do is I'll probably just make my own aluminium bar just to kind of run straight across there, nice and stiff. And that should be sufficient, I would believe. I mean, the whole thing's made of alloy. It's pretty rigid, and I don't see any issue with it taking out these two pieces. Not going to be an issue, not an issue at all. And yeah, I'll probably just make a little cross member that can go over there. You can see I've retained all the plastics and all this stuff. Just going to keep it simple to start with. We're not looking at going crazy lightweight. I mean, I'm bumping up the power of the bike, so power to weight ratio will still be better anyway. And yeah, how good is this thing looking now though? Like, I'm pretty happy with that. I've never done like a frame up rebuild, especially not having a complete other bike next to it to do it. And that's what's pretty cool, is like, one, I can reference things immediately, and two, just being able to pull parts, clean them, and then move them over straight away to something that is becoming something that is just like this more, it's more of a sense of accomplishment when you can see it really coming together. Like, even just cleaning these little alley brackets down here, changing the hardware to stainless, cleaning up all the stock bolts when I can't replace them. Pretty good, feels pretty good, looks good too. We've got the front end all done. We've got a CNC master cylinder reservoir. Shocks are all cleaned up, no leaks, the fluid and everything's good. We got our new Hell braided brake lines in there with the obviously candy red. We've got our 6-pot calipers on the front, and they're huge. Like, if you compare them to this guy, to that guy, I will take the pads and compare them, and we'll have a look and see what the difference is between them. But I'm gonna stop going backwards and forwards. Anyway, that's looking good. So I've got some tire weights on order. They should be here actually, should be here this week. So one thing I am gonna tackle I'm gonna change my own tires on this. Never done it before, not for a bike. I've got a balancer and I got the bars and stuff, the spoons to try do it myself. I mean, give it a shot. So I'm gonna do that this week. That's what's gonna be in the next video. I'll be changing the tires, balancing them if the weights are here. If not, I'm just gonna change them anyway. And yeah, we'll just see how we go with that. Not so much an instructional, but more of just a laugh at me really for trying to do this. I'm probably gonna like twang myself in the nuts with a spoon, but it is what it is. We'll get those tires on the wheels. We'll get the wheels all cleaned up and everything. I'll get the old sprocket off. Hopefully my new sprocket arrives in time sometime next week, because I do want to put the sprocket on and put this whole swing I'm on next week, currently Sunday. That's my goal, is the tires and the wheels and the swing arm and the shock all on this. We'll get this bad boy here too and clean up that, because that's pretty nasty looking. Just the rest, and yeah, we'll chuck that on here. Looking forward, if we get the exhaust off, the swing arm, the wheels and tires, cooling system, whole thing needs to be drained. I have drained the oil. If we get the whole cooling system sorted out next week too, basically what I'm looking for on Friday is I'll have it's outside at the moment, I'll have the engine lift, which is like just a little hydraulic lift for motorbikes, supporting just the frame and the motor. It's just going to be this little tiny chode of a thing, just kind of chill banging, sitting here doing nothing, which is what I want, because once all that's off, the whole front's off in storage, the back, everything is on that. That'll be the rolling shell, I guess that's a shell, rolling frame. And the bike will just be chilling, whole loom and everything still in there, just chilling, sitting on that stand. That is my perfect situation, perfect scenario for Friday, because then during the weekend, where I like to spend a little bit more of my time on my projects, that's what I'm working towards. Spend the week on these bad boys, a weekend on this. And with that, I should be able to tackle this loom, at least get it out labeled and make a start on the loom, because that's going to be a huge hurdle for me, cleaning up and getting this loom decent. And I want to do that next weekend. So that's my plan anyway. That's probably going to call it for this video. We did manage quite a lot. Got a whole lot of the bike stripped down, tank and everything. This one is very well on its way to being rolling. As you can see, all of that is being cleaned and polished. I don't need to touch it again. And yeah, I'm pretty stoked with the progress so far. I mean, that's essentially just the weekend's worth of work, and moving forward real quick. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe. If you like the videos, it does really help if you just click that like button. And yeah, if you got any suggestions or anything, chuck them in the comments. Any particular notes or information on running nitrous on these bikes, if you've got experience, that'd be freaking great if you could chuck down a few little how-tos and whatnot in the comments. And yeah, I guess thank you for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.